Don't waste your time trying to force things in through these candlesticks, and don't focus so much on how much time you got left. As long as you're working every day, working towards progressing, moving forward, you'll get there. You'll get there sooner than you thought. Once you get there, in the time you're spending right now, that might feel daunting and too laborious, won't be so much like that when you look back on it. Everything seems so much further in front of you when you're trying to get there. The first time, it's always a long journey. In the beginning, when you don't have experience, you don't want to be going out there pressing the button like my son did and fail and then feel grief about it. Learning how to trade with a real account, whether it be a large amount of money or a small amount of money, is the absolute asinine fucking way to do this, because you're literally encouraging fear. You're encouraging uncertainty that paralyzes you, because you're making it a scoreboard of, I lost money. No matter how much money it is, when you have that, it's real hard to get motivated. So when I teach it with a demo, and I teach how to go through back testing and collecting experiences where the market has done the very things I've taught. And I give you the benefit of knowing what I think is going to happen beforehand. So that way it holds you to an expectation in the marketplace. Does the market go higher when he says it goes higher? Does it respect those levels he's referring to? Does it trade to those pools of liquidity? Are you going back through the charts and looking for the things I teach? Is it in there? Is it happening? Don't require my own trades to be the only testimonial. If you do that, you're failing. Cameron's not even journaling. He can't do that right now. What did you just say? You heard what the fuck I said. He needs to have his pride restored. He's hurt. So the only way, and this is the best thing I could come up with, was give him something where, yes, these approaches, if he just would let the trade run, he could be making 30, 40, 60, 100 fucking handles. He could be doing that, but he doesn't have the patience to hold on to it because he's afraid it's going to turn around on him. He's afraid of that.
Yo, what up? He's afraid. He's afraid. Who else is afraid? If you're afraid when you're trading, guys, there are two things, right? You're over leveraging, or you're working with a system that is not proven to be profitable, right? So you doubt yourself. So welcome guys to New York session. We're gonna talk about the market right now. I've got the EU on my screen, but it's not doing too much, right? So it's kind of lethargic. But we have a guest speaker today, which is the MMXM trader, which you guys all know as well. Probably if you follow me, you follow him as well. So yeah, let me get him on here as well. Yo, what up, bro? How are we doing?
What's up, guys?
You guys can hear him fine as well? Just checking the chat can hear him. Yes, all right. Right. We're gonna do some market talk, see what's going on. We're gonna do some Q&A with you guys. I think we'll start off with the market, right? And then we're gonna go into some questions. Good that everybody's popping up as well. 250 viewers already. Welcome everybody. Yeah, let's take let's start off with DXY, right? So currently,
okay, cool.
Do you wanna do it, or should I?
Yeah, okay, I'll cover DXY. There's a couple options here, okay, and that's why I want to let today pass a little bit. First, the market can sell off from this 4-hour FVG, but if we look at a higher time frame on the daily chart, you'll see a daily fair value gap. Okay, so the market could easily trade up above that daily fair value gap and then sell off once we trade into that, right? And if we look at the news this week, there's nothing today. Tomorrow's a bank holiday. And then Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, there is news on the Forex factory. However, it's tentative because of the government shutdown. So there
Yeah.
was talks about bringing it back like in a couple days. So if that was to happen, I would see that as an end of the week reversal. So it's just patience here first, and then we'll see what we can get either from the 4-hour FEG or the daily FEG, but lower. I'm looking for lower from there.
Right. I increased the volume, guys. Is it better right now? Yeah, better?
Yeah,
Okay.
testing. Okay.
That's better? Okay, good. So yeah, like MMXM said, right, the daily fair value gap. You don't have to get in straight up on a Monday. You don't have to press button as soon as the market opens. The more information you're working with, the higher probability your setup will be as well, right? So with DXY stuck in Friday's candle, we're just going to be patient, right? See what it does. Are we going to get a manipulation, yes or no? Or are we just going to expand and then we have something to work with, right? Because if we actually expand and we leave some fair value gaps behind, it's going into an expansion phase, right? Because currently it's starting to form a consolidation, right? Which is actually good if you're trading lower, right? Because there's typically no reversal from a consolidation unless there's a higher time frame key level on SMT. Then it looks like a consolidation, but then it's actually a reversal, right? So definitely be patient. And tomorrow, bank holiday, right? I think the stock market is still open as well. But yeah, definitely take it easy. Same with GU, right? The draw should be into the fair value gap up here. The relative strength is in favor of the pound currently. You can see that if you compare EU and GU as well, right? Because we took out this high already here, and EU has not taken out this high here, right? So there's a discrepancy here, which means Euro GBP is very likely to trade lower. There's a nice couple of lows here as well. And then NASDAQ. You want to give your thoughts on NASDAQ?
Yeah, so looking at NASDAQ, if we look at the 4-hour, okay, we've run out this short-term low here, and then we also see some displacement away. So we're seeing some level of institutional sponsorship for higher. So what I want to see happen here is a swing high form on the 4-hour, and then I want to see us use that as a dealing range low to high, and then see a retracement back down to 50%, right? And then look for a retracement long to the relative equal highs from 4th November and 5th November.
Yeah, that's great. And then the patience comes in, right? Because we don't have a swing high yet. So it's still in an expansion phase here. So I want you guys also to focus on market cycles when you're trading, because it's gonna eliminate a lot of doubt when you're looking at setups. What I prefer to do, right, if I trade market maker models, and this is the smart money reversal on the low, right? I prefer to have a low risk buy first, and if this happens, right, the consolidation after the low risk buy has formed, this is perfect because now I have information, right? We have an expansion phase consolidation, which is accumulation. So it can form an AMD, which is accumulation, manipulation lower into a key level in discount, and then continuation, right? So you don't have to trade the low risk buy per se. You will have the best entry, but you should do lower risk in my opinion. But my model focuses on this area here, right? So I know I'm on buy side of the curve. I can do this AMD schematic over here. And then that's typically where most of my trades come from, because if there's a short-term low like this, right, then the actual order pairing comes into play like this, right? From the time frame alignment model for those who have studied it on my YouTube. Literally first stage distribution after the lowest buy. See what's...
You want to map those relative equal highs, bro?
What?
On NASDAQ.
Yeah, these ones, right?
Yeah, just give them the draw, yeah.
Yeah, so that should be the focus for early on in the week. Maybe the entire week if it doesn't move, right? Because we have bank holiday tomorrow, and I think all the news is still tentative, right? So hopefully they'll release some news, but let me double check on Forex Factory. Let's see. See if it's still tentative. Yeah, it's still tentative. So PPI, what do we have? Am I on the right? Yeah, I'm on the right one. CPI also tentative, right? Unemployment claims tentative. So kinda annoying, but it is what it is. Right, and we're still expecting higher on euro, obviously, but there's nothing much going on right now. So see, we have to open in 20 minutes. We'll probably watch that, and then in the meanwhile,
Yeah, for NQ.
Yeah, and in the meanwhile, we'll just answer some of you guys' questions. See if you have something you want to know. MMXM, can you show your face? GFS trader. Trust me, you don't want to see his face. Trust me. And that's I say that in a positive way, because I know you guys think I'm the most handsome man in the Twitter space, but then he will take the spot, so we can't allow it, right? We can't. He's too beautiful. He is after gender change surgery. I see. Okay.
That's true. That is very true.
Yeah. I should go to Turkey for a hairline transplant. What do you think?
I think there is a thing that was just released that, I don't know, some scientists in China. There's like a, what is it? It's like a liquid now you can put on and grow hair.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it's dangerous. Like everything that comes out of China, I'm gonna be a little bit wary.
No, it's your birthday on Thursday. I'm gonna buy it for you.
Oh shit. Yeah, and then Friday I have a full head of hair. What? I'll put on this wig and say it worked, right? Thoughts on gold? Let's see. So just straight up today, gapped up.
Yeah, this should go higher.
Yeah, the initial draw should be in this gap. And then we'll have to see what it does. You have some nice relative equal highs here, which is at the key.
And with the inside candle, weekly candle from last week, it could be a rather large move this week.
Yeah, especially if they actually release news. But I'm not banking on it, honestly. Let me put this on DXY. Where are all my lines? Yep, that fits. Won't we have a bullish move from the weekly fair value gap on DXY? I mean, I would look for longs if the high here wasn't taken out, right? So if this previous weekly candle didn't close like it did, I would find this a higher probability bullish fair value gap. But because we took out this high and the 4 hour had a mitigation here as well, right? This with this 4 hour supposed OB should have held because there was SMT on the lows as well and it was expanding. I'm going to be wary about that being a key level. And if you, by the way, if you work with a weekly key level, ideally you just work with 4 hour bullish structure as well, right? Otherwise you're catching the bearish 4 hour order flow and predicting it will change, right? But if you just wait for it to actually form a CSD OB or actually like a low risk buy, something like that, then you will be in a better position, in my opinion, because if you look at the weekly time frame, it's going to take a while before it gets to some higher time frame targets, right? So don't get in too quickly when you use weekly levels. Just wait for structure to form, and you should be good. Otherwise, if you use a weekly level and you're trying to catch the bottom, you should use a weekly level stop loss as well, right? Your stop loss should be all the way down here. MMXM and OTE trader, thank you so much for stream. You guys are legends. Much respect. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. How to control being impulsive? Do you have any tips on that?
Yeah, well, first it's understanding your model. Okay, and to be honest with you, some of you might not like this answer, but it's the truth. When it comes to being impulsive, right, that's experience, right? I was very impulsive when I first started, but it takes a lot of experience and time on the charts before you learn that you don't need to rush in there, right? As well as it's your lifestyle outside of trading that helps with that as well. But it's mainly the experience factor. That was personally for me. It could be different for others, but in my own experience, it was just the time spent on the charts. I realized after a while, okay, you need to be patient.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta train yourself, literally. Like, it's not easy. The thing with trading is you can make a buttload of money, right? And you will make a lot more than a regular job. But don't expect to be a profitable trader within 3-4 months or even 1 year or 2 years, right? Like, it's like cliche to say, like, if you're a lawyer, you have to go to law school. It takes like a minimum of 4 years. Then you have to do traineeship and everything, right? So it takes them a long time before they even can become like successful in their profession. But everybody in the trading world expects they can be profitable within 3 months of trading, and you are dealing with the biggest sharks in the world, right? In the marketplace. Those guys don't play around, right? So don't rush it, and really focus on the process rather than the money, because that's the problem. The moment I started focusing on the process, on executing the model perfectly, refining the model, reviewing all the trades I did, right? What are the patterns in my winning trades? What are the patterns in my losing trades? How did I feel at the moment I took those losses? How can I work on that? All that kind of stuff, right? You need to do that as well. And it's a lot of work. So don't binge watch educational videos or go to like a 4 minutes, this model works every time video, or which is 5 minutes long or whatever. That doesn't work like that. You gotta study, review, journal, and become a different. You gotta rewire yourself mentally. Take a look at USD CAD. My favorite pair. Yes. A little story about USD CAD. This pair actually made me lose my hair, because every time I enter a trade, I'm in this kind of price action here, and then when I'm not looking at it, it's doing this. Right? This every time it's the same. So I swear to God, if I enter a sell here, it's going to consolidate for 3 weeks. That's just how it goes. So I do not prefer to look at USD CAD. Yeah, that sucks. Don't like it at all. But this is also not an area where you want to trade right now. The best entry on EU is close to the chart and check it tomorrow. Oh, is close the charts and check it tomorrow. Yeah, exactly. You wait for information. Thought it's close to the chart. What? Okay, we have the market open in like 10 minutes, and we'll watch that. I think Euro has...
Can you show a diagram illustrating this sequence coupled to the double purge? Yeah, next week I'll have a YouTube video on this sequence, so
Yeah, stay tuned
that
for
will
that.
cover it in depth.
OTE, do you agree with this? Higher time frame order flow, SMT, daily key level, 4-hour order pairing. Yeah, yes, I agree with that. Yeah. Yeah, and the SMT has to be in the daily key level. The most important part is at the start, which is higher time frame order flow. And I would say look at the market cycles. Because higher time frame, you can say it's monthly, weekly. But if the daily is in a consolidation and the monthly draw is still in an expansion phase, you still need to adhere to the hierarchy, right? You can't just buy and then daily is in a consolidation. So market cycles has to be in there as well. We love MMXM voice. Bro, like, I thought you guys loved my voice, and now MMXM is here, and now you love his voice. I feel betrayed slightly.
I don't think anyone actually prefers my voice over yours. I don't think that's actually true.
So he's lying. Okay. Jerry, you're lying. Jerry, why are you doing this? Can you do more on Bond's YouTube video? I think the video is pretty clear, but
If you look at the bonds, bro, there's an SMT right now.
Let's look at the 4H. Can we take out the low? Yeah, okay, so we have the 30 and the 10 have SMT on the lows and the 5 as well. So the 30 took out the low here. Should be good to run as if we inverse the volume imbalance, right? That looks pretty clean.
Yeah, which would send DXY lower.
You also have relative equal highs on the 10-year. That would be a nice confluence, yeah. Do you still trade rebalance redelivered at the MMXM trader?
Yes, I do, because it helps with breakaway gaps, right? So I do still consider them in my trading.
Yeah. NQ is in this range right now. Interesting to see what the open does. It's kind of rough to buy all the way up here because it's in a 4-hour premium fair value gap. However, it's still in an expansion phase, but slowing down right now before the open. The 1 hour is consolidating. Yeah, if this was FOREX and this was EU, I wouldn't look for a trade inside of this range here. Please check exotic pairs. Do you have any specific exotic? Check the 15-minute chart of Euro USD. Look, I don't really want to look at the 15-minute chart of Euro USD, because if you look at the 1 hour, right, it's just bouncing up and down from midnight open, and there's no sponsorship right now. So anything that happens on the 15-minute to me is not interesting. So I still think they should go higher, but is low quality because it's just bouncing up and down from midnight open. How can you determine a daily profile if it does this, right? This is not a classic buy day profile. It's not a London swing New York reversal profile, right? There's no consolidation before news release profile. This is just basically just stuck in a range, right? So you should not engage on Euro USD because you cannot determine any daily profile. If you start working with daily profiles, weekly profiles, it becomes a lot clearer when to engage or not. Right? The problem a lot of traders have, they want to execute every single day, even though the 15-minute or the 1 hour looks like this, and then you're going to get burned. And you might win 1 or 2 trades, but then 8 out of 10 times you will get stopped out because it's bad price action. I mean, there's no bad price action, only market cycles in my opinion. But this is not the market cycle you want to position yourself in.
Yeah, going back to that exotic question, I think CADJPY is good for longs again because Canadian dollar has run out a weekly low and a monthly fair value gap bullish, And then you've got the yen, which had a weekly volume imbalance and daily FVG and is selling off. So I called the longs on it last week, or the week before actually.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago, yeah.
However, yeah, 2 weeks ago I called the longs for that weekly candle. However, I do think we're going to see another weekly expansion this week.
Yeah. Yeah, I do agree with that. Even though I will never touch it. Yeah, pop up as well, and then it dipped back into the IFG.
Yeah, and I would map that rejection block on the weekly time frame as the draw on liquidity.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's still like almost 100 pips, and that would be an initial draw, but it can also go to the high, so there's a lot of room. Yeah, there's a lot of room here. Yeah, let's go.
Maxim, would you say the sequence is the best way to catch the weekly one shot, one kill? Yeah, 100%. 100%. Like you can actually look at CADJPY the week I called it, you'll see exactly that.
We have a video on weekly profiles and daily profiles. Not sure. I think I have. Maybe it's an old video. Maybe it's not on YouTube, by the way. That could also be. Let me check it out. Go to my channel. Yes, I have one. It's called High Probable Smart Money Reversal and Daily Profiles. That's what the video is called. It's 15 minutes long. It's from 2 years ago. It's on my YouTube. When did I post this? 27th of August 2023. And that's a while back. Where are you from? I'm from the Netherlands. Thank you. I will check it out. Yeah, check it out, man. And I'm sure it can be helpful. All our videos should still be relevant, or I will update them. I'll send you on Instagram what I observed on the 15-minute time frame. Yeah, sure. Send that.
What is your opinion about the importance of making your model as mechanical as possible? That's heavily dependent on the trader, right? Because personally for me, I require something more mechanical, right? That's what works better for me as a trader. Whereas if you look at the way Tom trades, it's a lot more dynamic. Okay, so you have to first figure out, are you inclined to be more successful and follow the rules and checklists, when you have a mechanical approach? If that's the case, then yes, you do need to make it as mechanical as possible. But if not, like Tom's case, then you don't really need to. So it's dependent on you. So you need to figure that out first.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I can wait for the mechanical entry for a time frame alignment model, but as many of the guys and my students also know, if I know what the order flow is doing and what the market cycle is doing, I can enter on IFEGs or breakers or OBs. That if I just know what the daily profile is and that one specific model isn't presenting itself, I can just be, like MMXM says, dynamic. and then trade that and still find a winning trade. What's your daily bias on EU? Like today is there's no bias. We wait for information. Oh, the open is right now. Yeah, so we're in this range right now. So this is not a trading range. So either way, you wait for it to break out. And if it breaks out on the highs, I don't think it's sensible to buy because you're buying at the highest point. Greetings from the Netherlands. What up, man? Welcome. Never seen Tom use OTE. I do though. Like, I mean, it's not visible on the charts because I see it. Like, I don't draw it out, but I just use premium and discount because that's more important. But if certain key levels line up with OTE, then it makes it even better. Because the OTE is a deeper retracement than a 50% level, right? And so the deeper it goes into OTE, the more FOMO and inducement happens. And that's where the reversal can occur. EU looks like NASDAQ today. I mean, yeah, this is not something you want to touch today. Like, we wait. There's also this high got taken out by GU, right? So there's a cracking correlation. There's no expansion phase, so we wait. Hey, MMXM, suggest best Forex prop to the futures trader. I mean, I can already answer that. It's FTMO. Like, if you're scalping, you shouldn't do FTMO. Obviously, you should just go with futures. Do you believe there is an edge decay in trading? Like that your model isn't working over time? Is that what you mean? Like it becomes less probable? Depends on market cycles, honestly. Your model is not going to perform the same every single month. Like there is certain months the market goes into a slumber, and some months you have expansion phases. Some months you have reversals, right? It depends on the market cycle. So if most models perform best in expansion phases, obviously. So try to identify when you need to apply your model with higher leverage and identify which months it's lower probability. For example, in August, it was pretty bad. Like if I go to EU, August, right? It was extremely difficult. See where it was. Yeah, this over here. This is difficult, right? So for me, then I'm sitting on my hands for like 2 weeks straight and not taking a trade, or only one setup a week, right? But once it does something like this, it starts to expand and go back to discount, retrace back up to premium, expand again, right? Those pieces of price action, that's where you want to engage on. Not when the 4 hour is going sideways and there's no indication it's going anywhere, right? So you have to identify that. And I would actually prefer if DXY goes to this fair value gap first before we go lower. Because we'll have I like it if it goes higher first at the start of the week, so we can create the upper wick and then expand later in the week, right?
Yeah, 100% agree.
Yeah. Do you guys use new? Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Those lows.
No, these down here. I have marked out.
Yeah, it looks so suspect.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you look at the daily candle, right, you would be buying at the highest point in the daily candle right now, expecting it to expand even further. I mean, it could, honestly, but it's not. You kind of want to look for entries around the opening or slightly above it is fine as well, but not when it's all the way up here, in my opinion. You're more prone to get stopped out, in my opinion, if you trade that high up in the daily candle. Do you guys use new ICT concepts? I don't know if you use them. I don't think so. Or like the newer content ICT brings out.
There.
What was that?
No, the mic was breaking up.
Oh,
but,
okay.
I think I kind of put together what you said. Newer ICT content.
Okay, you got cut off a little bit.
Right, the 2024, their 2022 mentorship, really. That's as far back or as late as I've been in terms of the knowledge. I would look at the first 2 episodes of the 2024 past the 2022. I really wouldn't bother with it. I don't think it's...
Yeah, so basically 2022 and then first few episodes of 2024. My internet is acting up again. I really need to get a Wi-Fi booster.
You did another net cable, bro.
Yeah, but I have to drill a hole in my ceiling because I'm on level 1 of my house. You know, story 1, first floor. Level 1 of my house. What the fuck am I saying? The first floor. Yeah, I'm on level 1. But yeah, I have to drill a hole in my ceiling and then drag the cable through it. So
it keeps breaking up, so I thought I'd leave and rejoin.
Oh yeah. Is it possible for you to explain how you use the news while creating and analyzing the weekly and daily profiles or to produce content on this subject?
Yeah, so basically, depending on which days have the high impact news, right? And high impact news is going to do, it's one of two things. It's going to reverse from a high time frame key level, or it's going to use the high impact news to draw to a high time frame key level, right? That's the point of the high impact news, right? That's its job. Okay, so first we understand that, so we have to place a lot of importance on the high time frame key level and draw on liquidity, right? And then secondly, what we do is we have to time our trade, right? Now, if you're looking at a weekly candle, right? Or if we're looking at a daily candle, right? What time do we trade? You have kill zones such as New York, London, etc., right? But when we're looking at a weekly candle, how do we break it down in terms of time, right? That's days: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then we have to look at the news to determine when is the likely biggest expansion, which is going to come from the news. So the news is going to do one of two things. It's going to be manipulation or distribution, right? It's going to be manipulation into a high time frame key level, right? Or if we've already traded into the high time frame key level and traded away, then it's going to be distribution away from the high time frame key level to a high time frame draw on liquidity.
Yeah, that's a really good explanation. Hope you guys caught that. Can you talk about how you manage multiple funded accounts, the risk, etc.? Yeah, so here's the thing. I trade them all manually. Some people copy trade them and connect them with a copy trader, but I don't do that. Simply because I want to execute on them manually, so I can, if I want to execute on, let's say I have 5 funded accounts, right? And maybe I only want to do half risk, so to say, and I only want to use 2 accounts out of the 5. If I have them all copy traded, they're all going to execute when I execute on one of them, right? So I don't want to do that. That's why I'm doing them all manually. And it's really not a big deal to do 4 accounts manually at once, because you can just literally, you have a phone, I have 2 screens. I can have all my MetaTraders open on both screens, right? And I just click on all of them and I have executed all of them in 10 seconds. So in 10 seconds, it's not gonna move 30, 40 pips, right? Unless there's some crazy CPI release. I'm not executing before CPI, obviously. So just manually, and I use, for funded accounts, I use 0.5% up until 1% if it looks really, really good and the market is in a profile where it's highly, where the high probability trade setups form, right? With an expansion phase, for example, or a bullish market profile or bearish market profile. So there's no second guessing. Then the 1% comes into play. Otherwise, it's 0.5%. What do you mean by spending a lot of time on charts? Is it backtesting or what? What do you mean spending a lot of time on the charts? Like to train yourself? Like, the thing is with backtesting, guys, if you have a working edge, you should stop backtesting. This is gonna, if you keep backtesting and you fuck up on the backtest every time, you're gonna lose trust in your model that's already working, right? You should forward test. That's where the best information comes from, right? After you found out, okay, the edge is actually there when I backtested it. You have to follow the process. It's very important. You backtest, you check out if the model you want to work with actually has an edge. If it has an edge, you're gonna go on demo and you're gonna forward test for at least 3 months, see if you can get profitable and consistent, right? Then you go, if you manage to do 3 months consistently, right? Then you go to a small prop account or a small live account, and then you forward test with that. So you build up a little bit of skin, right? MMXM, when are you going to do lives on YouTube?
I'll be doing 1 a week from next week.
Okay.
So yeah.
Damn. Nice. Okay. A lot of questions every time about the bond market. Can you do more about the bond market?
I mean, yeah, I can, but
you can, yeah. What about on challenges? On challenges, I risk up to 2%. Sometimes even 2.5%. It depends on how good the setup is. But the 2.5% becomes 2.5 after I first put on a 2% trade and then scale in with more, right? So I increase the risk when it's moving in my favor. And you don't increase your risk as it is moving in your favor. You start with a higher risk, and every time you scale in, you do lower risk. MMXM doesn't want to show his face, but probably because he is bald. I mean, what's wrong with being bald? I'm here showing my face, being bald. What do you mean? This, well, I don't know, man. Sounds like a. I mean, I don't know. Well, I'm here, right? I'm here. Besides all my insecurities of being bald, right? Nothing wrong with being bald, 100%. Well, being bald, 100%. I would say I'm 80% bald. No, I'm 20% bald because I shave my head with a razor blade, right? So I'm technically not bald. But if if you look at the side, right, you see the hair, but it's receding, right? So I have to shave it. Otherwise, I look like, I don't know, you know. Might as well.
Here's a fun fact for you guys, and this is, I swear to God, this is 100% true.
Do I have to mute you?
Tom used to have a man bun, okay?
Yeah, that's true.
Before he was bald, he had a man bun. So trust
That's
me,
true.
guys, it's better he's bald, or he'll bring that back. And we don't want that.
I did, yeah. I did have a man bun. Yep. Yeah, good times. I mean, I had great hair back in the day, I'm not gonna lie. Like straight hairline, curly. It was perfect. And then for some reason they decided this is enough. Time to lose. I guess you just have to win in other aspects of your life to mitigate the baldness. Just took a shot for every time OT said the word bald and now shit-faced. Okay. I don't talk about baldness on stream typically, so calm down, man. Where's your dog? He's downstairs, man. He didn't want to stream with me. If my entry is on 15 minutes, should I use kill zone? Yes. Yes. Because you're trading a lower time frame, which is 15 minutes in my opinion. So you want the volume of the sessions to deliver your price. If you trade a 1 hour and a 4 hour, it takes 1 day, 2 days before it hits probably your draw, right? So you can chill out. You don't need any kill zones to enter. But basically, if you trade a 5 minute or 15 minute, you're probably aiming for either previous session highs or lows or previous daily highs and lows. Is there certain pips that the daily candle will expand on a daily basis that you have seen over the years on GU and EU? I mean, I just use ADR, so let's go to EU, for example, I double click. We're at 70% ADR right now, so even though it's not moving at all, which means the last few days weren't that big, right? Because we had this small candle here as well. This is not helping for the ADR. But I don't have like, okay, EU is gonna move 80 pips and that's it. I don't work like that. Can we sell NASDAQ after 1 minute CSD? You're asking me if you can sell after 1 minute CSD. So basically you're saying you don't have a model and you're asking me if you can execute. Right? So that's not how you should be trading. What's the ADR indicator name? It's 5-day ICT ADR. So if you type in 5-day ICT, then you get this one. Intraday tracker, Bryce WH. That's the one I use. Do we ever go below the 15-minute time frame when trading? And is the 15-minute time frame and above enough to become profitable? I almost never go below the 15 unless I want to torture myself. And when I'm in a trade, which I typically don't do. And yes, you can be profitable above 15 minutes because I'm literally trading the 1 hour time frame most of the time, and I make a buttload of money. So yes, and the most FOREX traders, at least I know, are more profitable when they trade on the 1 hour than when they trade on a 5 minute. Not a hater, but the thumbnail is ass. Okay, it sounds like a hate comment. Why is it ass, man? Well, what do I need to change? Tell me. I know you, Lukev. I've seen you before. So. But the best model you use, guys, is the model which you can comfortably execute and you have the data on. And it's not the same for everyone. There's no model that says this is the best model. It depends on your personality and all that kind of stuff. Might see the draw into the lows on NASDAQ.
Yeah.
Because we had an accumulation expansion and now it looks like it's about to reverse here. A lot of equal lows. Low resistance liquidity down here as well.
You could see 10 a.m. be the distribution.
Yeah. Can we trade no news weeks or days? Mostly price action is not good these past few weeks. I mean, it's fine. At least for euro the last four weeks I've found plenty setups. And if there's no news, it doesn't mean that's not gonna move. You can trade no news days. I highly prefer if there is news though, because then we have a liquidity or volume injection. What is the minimum time frame to use swing point? The lowest you would go, Yeah.
I would say 1 hour for 90% of people. One hour to 1 minute.
Yeah, what do you think about when traders are trying to learn? What time frame should they stick with? Like for me personally, I would say above the 15 minutes, and don't go anything below 15. What do you think?
I think 1 hour.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is not just it's slower and easier to see the narrative, it's also you don't have to be as well versed with the timing aspect, right? Because a 15-minute chart is still a day trading chart. So you still have to be in tune with the kill zones and have more experience with how price moves at specific times, right? But when you're on a 1 hour with a 1 hour stop loss, etc., you don't really have to consider kill zones. Okay, so it makes it a lot easier for a developing trader to find success on a 1 hour and higher.
Yep. Yeah, one thing I did back in the day when I was not profitable, I would use 1 hour key levels, and then I would monitor the 1 minute time frame for the entirety of my trade, and then I would go pretty much insane watching it, because you look at all the market structure shifts, quote unquote, and you're gonna be scared it goes back to your break even or your stop loss, right? But it just has to, the 1 hour candle has to breathe. It is not gonna go in one straight move down, all bearish candles if we're going bearish, right? OTE and MMXM trader, one people same? Yes, we're the same. Yep, definitely. Come on, man, it's not 2023. Let's get over it. For fuck's sake. Can you ask MMXM to make a video on the sequence model? He will be making a video. Yep. My first encounter with you was a banger oil trade August last year. Do you trade oil much anymore or strictly currencies now? Oh yeah, I did. Last year we did good oil trades, yeah, but I don't trade oil anymore. I prefer majors, definitely. Ignore hate comments, they just ruined the stream. I don't see any hate comments. Where are the hate comments? Somebody start hating right now. Just want to let you know, if anyone doesn't, that you are a great person. We appreciate your free content that you don't have to do and take time out of your day. May God bless you. Thank you for the blessing, sir. Hopefully I will make it. Yes, hopefully I will make it to heaven one day. Probably not. Now that you have the have to laugh about it. Now that you have the ability to make money, hasn't life become a bit boring? No, my life is pretty interesting. Yeah, no, like the money makes it more stress free. That's what it. Not always stress free, but it's if I want to buy something, I can just buy it. If right now I want a new guitar, I can go to the store and buy a new guitar, right? When right now I want to go out to dinner, I can go out to dinner, you know, like that kind of stuff. When I was working like a regular job, I had to think about my finances. If I could go out to dinner, some random time, you know, like, or spend like 200-300 euro on dinner, which I don't do, even if I make this money right now, because it's insane if you spend $300 on a meal, and I don't care what anybody says. Now I'm waiting for MMXM to hate on me and tell me I'm cheap.
No, not when it comes to like a meal. There's only YG out there spending 10,000 on a meal in Singapore.
Yeah, you paid for like 10 people, I think. But still, that's 1K a person. It's too much. It's too much. But no, I mean, if you would live my life, you would be probably bored to shit, because I don't do a whole lot. Like, I enjoy life with my dog and my wife, and that's basically it, right? I like to be left alone, no people around me. I just want to be in the mountains, you know, in some cabin and be left alone. That's my ideal life. But that's probably very boring for a lot of people. To start my journey, from where should I start? Core content or 2022? I'm biased towards 2022 or core content, because that's what I did. But 2022 might be more beginner friendly. What do you think, MXM?
I would say 2022 makes it easier to understand 2016. So I would start with 2022 and then 2016.
Yeah. Didn't form an IFG here. Otherwise, it could have dropped here.
Yeah, anyway, there's nothing to really look at here.
No. Yeah, we're gonna answer, or I'm gonna answer a few more questions, and then we're gonna wrap it up, and then I'm gonna come back on Friday again for the weekly review and Q&A, obviously. What's the advantage of premium LOC? Well, you have direct access to us and the live streams we do over there, and the guidance. For those who struggle with becoming consistent, that's more valuable than any course or anything, right? Courses are really good, right? Then you have a clear-cut model and you know what to do. But if your personality struggles with certain things, or you don't know how to do proper journaling or all that kind of stuff, you need some guidance, right? That's where it shines. Both of you are my mentors. Wouldn't have changed my training style and traded MMXM without you guys. Yes, that's good to hear, brother. Let's go. Are we brothers? Yes. Yes. I'm his older brother from another continent. Brother from another mother. When's OT?
You figured it out.
Huh?
Finally, you figured it out. I was waiting for you to say that.
Yeah. When's OT chart lab gonna start again? It isn't. We're in living off charts right now. Yes, guys. BTW here. Hey, welcome, man. Yeah, you're a student of us. I know your name. BTW. Welcome. Ben Wright. Does MMXM share gems in LOC outside the course? Yeah, of course. Like every live stream we do, there is so much to learn outside of educationals or you can touch on a topic way easier when you're in a live stream, right? Anyway, I think I'm gonna wrap it up because I'm not gonna look for a setup. Majors are ranging. Make sure, probably you already do, make sure to follow or subscribe to MMXM's YouTube as well, right? But that goes without saying. And thanks for joining, bro, for this stream.
For sure. All right, take care, guys, and have a good trading week.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Already kicked you. Oh my god. No, that was a joke, obviously. But thank you guys for joining. We're gonna go Friday again. I will see you guys there. See if the full screen cam works. No, it doesn't. It does. Okay. Get off with this headset. Okay, guys, check you guys Friday and take it easy this week. Not a lot of news, right? Stay safe and we'll review at Friday. Check you guys then.